Hello, everybody. Welcome to number 7 of the Enlightenment Chronicles. This is something to really hear. To notice the freedom that is already available, we have to remain open to unknowing most of what we think we know. This is so critical. Sometimes I call this the unteaching, as some of you may know. That's the reason is the end of my first book, where the first book strictly about this was the book of undoing, and then it was the book of unknowing, and then it was the book of, I never can remember the third one, but at any rate, it was un, because it was all about unlearning. That's what this is. You have been hypnotized. You have been hypnotized, and I'm speaking to awakeness through this unit to that unit, if you will. But it's all awakeness, talking to awakeness. This is all smoke and mirrors, but we may as well enjoy it. Here we are. So you have been hypnotized in awakeness. You, awakeness, have been hypnotized into believing that you are just one of these individuals. As a result of that, everything in this individual's world is crisis, is so important. It's how does it look today? How does it feel today? Talking about the body now. How does it look today? How does it feel today? What's it got today? Has it got enough? Will it have enough in the future? What do I regret from the past? What am I afraid of in the future? It's me, 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 me. And it's this character, which is not even true. It's an imaginary character because it's you, awakeness, believing that you are limited, and you're not. You're unlimited. You are the whole damn thing and beyond. Because I know beyond it because there's no end. So what is the whole damn thing when there's no end? And there's no end to you, nor is there any beginning to you, nor is there any center to you. It may feel like you're a center, and it may look to you like, well, this guy looks like he's claiming to be a center, but I am not. I am claiming to be anything but a center of awakeness. I'm just one little blip of light way over to the side, sort of in the outback of awakeness with my cry from the wilderness. And I'm crying from the wilderness because you believe, let me grab this again. To notice the freedom that is already available, we have to remain open to unknowing most of what we already know. And what you know is, you're a person, you're a body, you know that all of your problems are very important. You know that getting your way is vital. You know that people don't treat you as well as they should. You don't get the respect that you should, or you get too much respect because you're really not worth anything. Any self-value that you've got is wrong. Because the only self-value you should have is the value of being the whole thing, the oneness, if you will. You are oneness. It's if we just concede oneness for just a moment, in the absence of the mind, if you drop the mind for just a minute, because what is the mind? It's a 24-hour complaint machine. Because this is not as good as it should be. This let me down. Right? I mean, we're just such ridiculous creatures. We just think so. For people that don't think that we're worth anything, we have such highfalutin ideas that we have all this entitlement, and how awakeness or the world should be treating us, how what our station is should be in life, and how things should be going. We had no knowledge of this, none. We have never had any idea of what today is supposed to look like. And yet we pretend that we do, because what we notice is that today never looks the way that it should. It's never quite as good as it should be. It was very nice. Thank you. That was lovely. If only, and if only just kicks our butts all the way through life. But there's no if only. There's this, and it's really beautiful if you can drop your grudge. You've got a big grudge against relativity. As a result of that, you suffer tremendously. I don't have any grudge against relativity. It is what it is. It can't help what it is. It can't not be. It can't be anything that it's not already until it's ready to be, right? And it can't be anything else until it is. And that just will mean that the content of this moment will be changing, because the content of this moment, of this timeless moment, this is a moment without time, and it's constantly changing, and we see the change and we call it time. But it's not time, it's just change, and it's not even changing you. You never change. It's just change in the what we could say is the content of you, or the content of the moment. But let's understand that all of the content that's here and there and anywhere, it's all illusion. It just is. I mean, it's so my illusion's better than your illusion. I bet my illusion can beat up your illusion, right? I mean, it's just ridiculous. I bet my imagination can think up something cooler than your imagination can, because that's all it is. We just live in our imaginations. We live believing we deserve more than we've got. We believe that in the world where we've got more than we deserve. We're in the world that is approaching peace, or approaching some kind of big crescendo where everybody's going to wake up. And I don't know anything about that, by the way. It doesn't look like it to me, right? It looks like, if anything else, I mean, really and truly, it appears that the human race is going backwards right now. So all this, we're developing into a race where it's all going to be seen, we're all going to wake up and all that. I see no sign of that whatsoever. What I do see is I see human nature being human nature, and I can't find anything wrong with that. I can't actually. I can see things I disagree with, in the sense that I see things that are hurtful, and I don't wish for hurtful things for anybody. So, but I'm not going to stress myself over it. It doesn't mean that the unit's not going to be distressed. The unit will be whatever it is. It'll say, "Well, I'm glad they got what they were supposed to get," or they don't have enough, and the unit will actually take something out of its pocket and give it away to try to see that there's a little bit more equal distribution of things. But that's what the unit does. What the unit does is just what the unit does. It doesn't affect you. What happens to the unit doesn't affect you. And I'm not saying that not trying to do a spiritual bypass here. I'm not saying that nothing, if your grandmother died, I'm not going to tell you, well, your grandmother was never really here, so don't worry about her. It's not like that at all. First thing that happens to me if somebody tells me that they lost a loved one is that let me just give you my heartfelt commiseration. I mean, I'm just so sorry. Because that person's hurting, and I don't want them to hurt. It's me. Why would I want me to hurt? And I know I didn't just die, but they think that the grandmother was a grandmother and that she died. But just awakeness just kind of blinked out in that one little spot. And there's all these spots. And if you notice, even on this planet, that humans are being born faster than they're dying. It's just your special humans that should last forever. And your special humans are not special within the universe. They're just units. Please, that's the reason I call them that. They're ordinary units. The expression that comes through the units is divine. And that's beautiful. And that's what we need to groom and take care of. It's what we need to encourage. That's the reason we, as the awakeness, we have to be the awakeness that we want to find. You're not going to find peace over that hill. You'll find it right here when you stop the war that you're having right here. Stop being a warrior. Why not be a peacemaker? And you could start with yourself. You could quit criticizing yourself for all the stuff that you never did, for all the stuff that just happened, and it happened through that unit. It feels like you did it. It doesn't absolve you of responsibility, because the unit, the body takes the rap, so to speak. And taking the rap is just an expression, an American expression, like when if a bunch of gangsters commit some crime or whatever, and one of them gets caught, and he says, "I did it, and nobody helped me," then Johnny's taking the rap for everybody. See, so that's what I mean, is that the body takes the rap for the body's doings. So you don't need to. It's a pretty alarm, isn't it? I like having a pretty alarm instead of Well, I guess that's it enough for tonight. But it certainly has been nice seeing you, and I hope that you'll come to see me tomorrow, and that we'll have another good talk. I do love you, and I appreciate everything you're doing. Thank you for supporting this. Bye-bye.